Greetings everyone, Forge Turbo here. Today we're taking a look at this gray anti-static bag. Well, not really. We're taking a look at this ASUS motherboard, and very old ASUS motherboard at that. It's a ASUS P5Q Deluxe on socket LGA775. As you can see, it's not missing any parts, which is good. But also you can see there's dust in the fins and everything on the CPU socket as well. You can see there's some dust there. Not good. It's pretty dirty. Let's set the I/O shield aside first. Generally pretty dirty. So today we're going to take a look at how to clean this thing up. Before we do that though, a few things we need to mention. First, do not set your motherboard on the carpet. It might fry it, highly likely, because carpet with friction does create a lot of static electricity. So it's preferred if you have a paper box or something, cardboard box or something like this. This is my old cutting board, so I'm going to use that as an anti-static workbench today. You can put it on a wooden table as well, that's okay. Just do some anti-static prevention and protection. Secondly, you probably want some tools. A sponge would be helpful to scrape the back of the PCB, not the front, because you might just destroy some kind of a capacitor or resistor. Not like that. You will want like something like an old toothbrush. Don't use your current one because that's not great for the whole system, not great for your teeth, not great for your well-being at all. You should wash and submerge your old toothbrush for a while so no dry toothpaste enter any kind of little cracks or slots of the PCB. Some isopropyl alcohol is always good, and a screwdriver depends on which kind of parts you need to remove. Maybe you have a heatsink on it that needs a screwdriver to unscrew or something. If you need a screwdriver though, or if you have any screws that you need to take off, I would also recommend a magnetic part tray. And that's about it. Maybe some Q-tip will help also, but we'll talk about that later if we need it or not. Paper towel would help if you are trying to clean the back of it, but on the front, there's way too many components. Toothbrush is going to be the best. So let's get started. First, remove your heatsink. Leave your CPU in place if you're on an Intel platform that's older. That's not older than a socket 775. So if you have a ping system on your motherboard, you would prefer to leave the CPU in. If you have a pin system on the CPU itself, you can pull it out because it doesn't have pins on the motherboard, so you won't like hurt it or anything. So in this case, we have a 775. The pins on the motherboard itself, we're not going to remove it so we don't get dust into it. Second thing, remove the RAM or graphic card or any kind of expansion card that you can remove. So we have these very golden looking OCZ, old OCZ RAM. I think 2 by 2 gigs, so it's 4 gig in total. Not too bad. Now we can use our toothbrush, and you can see there's dust pretty much everywhere. You just want to dry brush it first. Just kind of get the dust out of there. Try to be gentle and don't like hit on these capacitor or anything, because that could be a nightmare. And if you pop any kind of a capacitor, yeah, the board is done. Another thing I want to mention is don't clean your motherboard until you have test booted it. No matter how dusty it is, it's supposed to boot. Well, except if it's very, very like submerged in dust. That wouldn't be good, but if you brushed out your whole motherboard and make it all pristine looking and then just found out oh it's dead, yeah, that would be a little bit waste of time, I would say. So try not to do that. After you have done the gentle brush with your toothbrush, you are supposed to check for any kind of bend pins. If so, if there is any, bend it back to the best of your ability, that is. And now we're gonna get some paper towel and clean up the back because I can feel there's a tiny little bit of grease on the back. Again, old method of doing this, get one piece of paper towel and get some alcohol onto it. Preferably 99% alcohol, but I think 70% will do. And let's clean off the back. Light taps on the spiky areas and gentle swipes on normal areas. Again, some paper would be caught inside the pins, but it's easier to remove when it's dry, so we won't worry about it right now. Flip the motherboard over again. And try to clean the top of the IOs, which wouldn't be too hard most of the time. And the back of the IO as well. Sometimes the IO are dirty, so like on the audio jack, it might not even sound that good. Then you probably want to use some Q-tip and just push in there. Again, try to be gentle, not to break off any capacitor, or you are going to have a bad day. Cover the major areas, and I think that's good. And now we need to use Q-tips again, because they reach into small areas pretty good. First of all, between the IOs, there's small gaps like this. Try not to force it in there, but if you have to force it, then just pull some cotton off the Q-tip tip, and then you can probably put it in there. After the size of the IO, remember the back of the IO. Around the heat sinks and CPU. Remember to emphasize the cleaning on top of most extruding components because dust fall from the top, and like all the PCIe slots may receive dust from the top as well as the heat sinks. And check this out. Now it's all finished. It's much cleaner than before. You can't see any visible dust. If your motherboard is more dusty than dirty, I would recommend having some canned air or compressed air if you have a compressor. That would help a lot. And now we need to do the last step to take out the CPU because there might be some dust just trapped right in there. Well, this is different for every single motherboard model and socket, and first thing we can see, there are some dust in there. Try not to touch the CPU so much because below the CPU, especially on these LGA 775 and these LG boards, dust won't really get down there so much. Just use your Q-tip and sweep away. Now you can see it's all cleaned up now. You can close the lever again. reseat the CPU. Press it, and there we go. Now the motherboard is all cleaned up, ready for the next build. And I do have a purpose for this motherboard. So subscribe for the upcoming videos. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you don't, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment below if you have any questions. This is 4Turbo signing off.